Hey guys, Chicky Domain, Debut.com with a Debut.com forecast update. This forecast update effective around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, June 19th, 2017. And here's the latest on 93L Invest and a possible tropical cyclone coming to the Gulf of Mexico over the next 24 to 48 hours. And 93L Invest is right in here on this corner right in here. This is where the official designation is. And if you followed us on our social feeds yesterday, you know that we posted that it appeared that the Invest had moved a little bit closer to the coast, and it in fact has, and is now lifted up towards the northeast tip of the Yucatan Peninsula. If you've been following along, you know we talked about two different types of pattern, a hooking pattern and a round the corner pattern. And yesterday it looked like that in the satellite imagery that we are now getting a combination of those two factors. The hooking, which typically leads to a more south to north track like this, and then that tropical wave that comes in and the vorticity spin getting off Costa Rica, rounding the corner into the Gulf of Honduras, and then up in here towards the Gulf of Mexico. Now, one of the things that we hadn't discussed is land interaction as far as once these areas of low pressure get over land. You know, they need to be over water. So we've talked about how once everything clears this Uke Channel and gets out here into the open ocean, that's when it opens up the possibility of tropical cyclone development. And as you can see, we have a broad area of low pressure in here. But once this in here lifts off into the Gulf of Mexico, it's going to lose that land interaction. Now let's drop back down a little bit and going back into that hooking pattern that we were talking about. So we have this flow like this hooking into the Western Caribbean. Going to start you off with some satellite loops zoomed in of the tip of the Yucatan Peninsula. Notice here. Notice how we've got some curvature and what looks to be a little spin in here. As we move over towards the northeast corner and go look at the actual Invest, notice the blow up of convection now because it senses that it's getting ready to get over open water. And again, once this moves off towards the west-northwest and gets in here to the north of the tip of the Yucatan Peninsula and it gets away from that land influence, it gets the opportunity to start sucking up and building convection. The other thing we'll be watching for this afternoon is the blow-up of land convection this afternoon. This also can aid in development as time goes on. Looking at the latest water vapor imagery, for those who follow us, you know oftentimes we post ancient rainbow warriors, and it's the signs that we see. Back in the day, the ancients, all they had to look at was the sky. They didn't have the benefit of satellite imagery. Here's an ancient rainbow warrior sign for you. Not trying to be the boy who cried wolf. Look like a wolf head right in here. Folks, there's a possible tropical cyclone that's going to develop in the central, northwest central Gulf of Mexico next 48 hours. Look at this influx from this water vapor here going into the Bay of Campeche and then wrapping up like this. Strong convection in here. The rule of thumb, always watch tail ends of fronts or along stalled or dying fronts, especially during tropical cyclone season for an area of low pressure to develop. Lots of ingredients in the bowl, and it looks like the bowl is getting ready to get stirred up to bake the cake. Here's the latest Euro model from last night. This is going out 48 hours, showing a possible tropical cyclone in here in the northwest Gulf of Mexico. The European model wants to continue on a more westward track. Here's last night's run, or excuse me, the 06Z run of the GFS. GFS is showing possible tropical cyclone moving up into Louisiana. There's not much difference, folks, inside of 48 hours on location. Whether or not something becomes a name system or not really doesn't matter. Weak areas of low pressure known to produce copious amounts of rain. And as this starts to lift up in here, you can see as convection on the eastern side of the circle spreads up into here. Possible heavy rains coming all the way from the Florida Panhandle back all the way over to eastern Texas. That's all we got for you for now. Stay tuned for the next update. Follow us on our social feeds for our real-time updates. That's at Twitter at Dadabuh, D-A-D-A-B-U-H, on Facebook at Dabuh, D-A-B-U-H, and on Instagram, Dabuh Surf. Thanks again.